And Turkey has denied reports that it has begun its operations against Kurdish militants in Syria. But it says preparations are underway and the offensive will begin shortly. Turkey has been on standby to advance into northeast Syria after US troops began vacating the area on Sunday, in an abrupt policy shift by President Donald Trump. Now, for more on this, we are joined in studio by Dr. Serkan Yolacan. Dr. Yolacan is a research fellow at the Middle East Institute at NUS. He was previously worked as the projects officer at the Turkish Economic and Social Studies Foundation in Istanbul.
Good evening, Dr. Yolacan. Thank you very much for coming into the studios this evening. Well, let's start off with what we know of the Kurdish role insofar as the Syrian war is concerned. Since the Arab Spring began back in 2011, they've slowly and in different ways been drawn into this. What role specifically have they played?
That's right. I think most notably we can say that they played a crucial role in defeating the Islamic State, and in doing so they've had the backing of the US administration, which has provided them with training, heavy weaponry, and also political protection, political support, which has been the most crucial part because it shielded them from any foreign intervention. So as a result, now they're in control of large parts of Syria in the north and east parts of the country.
And why is it that Turkey has such a conflict with them?
So the positive image that the Kurds have enjoyed, precisely because of the role that they played in defeating the ISIS, is certainly not the image that the Turkish government has of them. Erdogan and his government sees a direct link between the Kurdish forces fighting in Syria and the PKK militants in northern Iraq and parts of Turkey fighting against the Turkish state. So from their perspective, the Kurdish enclave within Syria is part of a much larger corridor into Turkey going via northern Iraq. So the implication being, of course, that if there is a very strong Kurdish presence with more political power in their hands in Syria, that means more emboldened and resourceful militias in northern Iraq and Turkey fighting against the Turkish state.
So, Dr. Yolacan, the size and scale of a potential Turkish operation, it remains unclear for now. But could such an invasion give Islamic State a boost? Those are some of the concerns that we've been hearing. And could that potentially have repercussions in Asia?
It's certainly a possibility. A lot depends on how protracted and messy this whole process will be. There are thousands of Islamic State fighters who are probably hiding in sleeping cells or captured in prisons in the Kurdish-controlled areas. And if the Kurdish and Turkish forces fighting each other cannot prevent the fronts from becoming escape routes for these former Islamic State fighters, then the implications could be at least unpredictable, and not for the region only, but anywhere these fighters may escape out to.
And what does Turkey or how does Turkey view the US withdrawing the way it has? Just unilaterally just...
I think they've been waiting for it quite a while. There was, perhaps a year ago, there was a phone conversation between Trump and Erdogan, after which Trump very abruptly again declared that he would withdraw from Syria by basically upsetting his own generals on the ground. So Turkey has been pressuring the US on this issue and sometimes threatening that it would unilaterally enter Syria without any regard to US plans. So it's a very welcome approach. But Turkey also sees that this is Trump's doing, not the US administration as such.
Well, I mean, maybe you could clarify for us, I mean, what's Turkey's stake in specifically targeting this area in terms of clearing this area?
I see. There is, so as I said, Turkey doesn't look at the Kurdish question or Kurdish situation within Syria as an isolated one-country phenomenon. They see, the Turkish administration sees it as part of a much larger problem of a big Kurdish population straddling the boundaries of Iraq, Iran, Turkey, and Syria. And I think all these states are, one way or another, are concerned about these Kurdish minorities in their states. And a very strong, powerful, perhaps a de facto Kurdish state in Syria, they think would embolden other Kurdish minorities or organizations that are fighting on behalf of them against these states. So Turkey is one of those states.
Dr. Yolacan, thank you very much for coming to the studios to
me.
share your perspectives with us on this. We've been speaking there to Dr. Serkan Yolacan. He's Research Fellow at the Middle East Institute at NUS.